Coming up on Cardinals Insider.
The greatest right-handed hitters of all time making his first ever pitching appearance.
Yadi's like, this is terrible. I don't like this feeling at all.
Oh, this is not easy.
Albert and Yadi show off their arms from 60 feet, 6 inches. Plus,
Bader racing to second. Bader racing to third.
Harrison Bader makes Cardinals history with an inside-the-park homer. And later,
people will ask me from time to time, what is it you're trying to say with your collection? I'm really not trying to say anything because the artists really do all the talking.
Ted Simmons is giving and receiving some special artwork. Those stories and much more ahead on Cardinals Insider. Welcome to Cardinals Insider. I'm Ozzie Smith. You never know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark. Last month, a pair of unlikely pitchers showed Cards fans something they didn't expect to see.
History here in Busch Stadium. Albert Pujols is on the mound. The greatest right-handed hitters of all time making his first ever pitching appearance.
2,172 games, 8,376 plate appearances, and for the first time, Yadi Molina is on a major league mound.
It brought the crowd, as large as it still is, to its feet, a standing ovation. You go to the ballpark and you never know what you might see. There's no way you're going to the ballpark today thinking, I'm going to see Albert Pujols pitching in a major league game.
I mean, think how many pitchers have thrown to him, and for the first time, he's doing it.
Albert's first out recorded by Harrison Bader. Oli Marmol may have found a secret weapon. Here we go. Double play ball will end it. He'll flip. He'll throw. Safe. Albert was ready to celebrate. He was ready with a fist pump.
Who's going to break it to Albert that he doesn't get a save for this?
Look out. Gonzalez to right. Albert looking at it. So's everyone else. Albert's given up a homer. Now he knows what it feels like to be on the other end.
And
Gone.
Albert's like, dude,
Albert,
come on.
Well, he gave up a home run the other day, so.
Yadi's like, this is terrible. I don't like this feeling at all.
Oh, this is not easy.
This one to left. Back at the wall. And it's gone. And Albert's ERA is climbing.
Right center field, and Bader just couldn't make the catch.
This could do it. Albert's got his hand up. There you go. The ERA may be 54, but no one's going to forget what we saw tonight.
Hit in the air, short left center field. Bader's got this one, and that is that. Well, gentlemen, we saw a lot of stuff today, didn't we?
A lot of baseball today.
And good on Oli Marmol and whoever on the Cardinals said, let's do this. I'm all in on that.
We were thinking about not using another arm, and Albert was sitting there while we were talking about it. He said, I'll throw it. And I said, what's wrong with that? I like it. Yeah.
former Cardinals pitcher Kyle McClellan is the host of a new podcast called The Chatter's Box. The show consists of series focusing on a specific topic. The first one centers on the 2022 Cardinals, including a two-part interview with Albert Pujols. Here's a preview.
Tell me a little bit about your early years and growing up there in the DR, and then when that love of baseball, for you really happened.
Well, that's great. Well, the love of baseball for me happened at a young age. I was around 5 or 6 years old, following my dad around and, friends. And as you know, you've been now in the Dominican. I mean, that's the main sport for us. I always say when you have your first birthday, like your dad or your mom always give you a bat and glove. And if they can afford it, they buy a glove and a ball. And
so who are some of the players when you're a kid, growing up, that you're watching at the big league level or there in the Dominican that you kind of, really looked at as, you know, somebody that you wanted to be, or that helped you chase your dreams because of what they were doing?
Yeah, great question, because I used to work at the stadium. I used to work, you know, my stepfather was, you know, he still have some place like they make sandwiches and, you know, sell some food at the ballpark. So I used to go help with my grandma. And she passed away about 4 years ago, but she used to work for him. So I used to go with my mom too when she was in town. My mom moved to Panama, the country of Panama, when she was like 1989, I believe, or 91. So by the time that she would come to the country, like I used to go and help them out, like sell sandwiches and all that stuff at the stadium. But the love that I have for the game always, like, it makes me like to stop and forget about selling the sandwich that I had to sell and just focus, you know, watching Julio Cesar Franco, Sammy Sosa, you know, Sterling Javier, I mean, Moises Alou, Davey Ortiz, you know, all those guys that are like, they'll really open the doors for us.
So when did it hit you that, like, I got a chance? You know, because I put myself in your shoes. I came in a spring training, and I had no chance of making the team, right? I was coming in trying to make my name and try to just say, hey, I'm here if you need me. All of a sudden, I get about halfway through, and I'm throwing to Yadi, like Yadi's staying in the game to catch me. You know, and you start to see, like, things aren't accidental in spring training, right? Yeah. I mean, you start to see matchups.
You know, you smell it, you know, like when they start mixing you and like putting you more with the group that you belong. So I think for me, I would say, I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks into camp, 2 weeks before we broke camp, I think that's when I knew that I probably had a pretty good chance maybe to squeeze and make that ball club for maybe 2 or 3 weeks until Bonilla was coming back from the DL. Never expected that I was gonna be up here, you know, the whole time in 2001, but, you know, God had a better plan for me, I guess, and, you know, part of that was me putting the hard work into, you know, and never take anything for granted. Although I was having a great spring, I still showing up early, leaving late, asking the right question, working on my defense, working on the things that I had at work, and Tony saw that, Diokri saw that, and they decided to give me a shot.
Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the Chatters Box so you never miss an episode. You can listen anywhere podcasts are available or at cardinals.com/podcast. Plus, full video versions are on YouTube. Still to come, Harrison Bader touches them all without leaving the yard.
If it's kind of in the gap, you know, the outfielder is going to have to be pretty close to perfect if he's going to want to get me.
That's after the break. On May 10th, Harrison Bader became the first Cardinal to hit an inside-the-park homer at Busch 3. And he's the first Cardinal to hit one in St. Louis since Vince Coleman did it in 1985. In fact, no Cardinal had hit one anywhere since Fernando Vina did it in 2001. Here's a look back at Bader showing off his wheels during this history-making moment.
And Bader hits it out to deep left center. It's at the wall! And it's off the glove of Mullins. Bader racing to second. Bader racing to third. He might get an inside the park home run. Sliding in head first. Inside the park home run.
There really is nothing like hitting a home run, especially in Busch Stadium.
Bader, and the Cardinals get on the board. Just
applying pressure to the center fielder. If it's kind of in the gap, you know, the outfielder is going to have to be pretty close to perfect if he's going to want to get me. I think speed's important because, you know, you always want in the back of a player's mind, whether they're fielding a ground ball in the hole or maybe tagging up on a base. Anytime a fielder needs to speed up, that's when things kind of go a little sideways. You know, always using it as a tool to help us win is something that I really always focus on. I want kids to notice how much fun I'm having at all times. I want kids to also notice how hard I play the game. I think it's important to show your teammates that every day you show up at any level that you're going hard on all sides of the baseball, you're having fun, you're getting dirty, you're making your mom wash your uniform, and you're smiling doing it.
Mistake-breaking ball up in the zone, and Harrison gives it a ride. Looks like it's going to be out of the ballpark, and it was off to the races for Harrison.
Straight ahead.
What's given is about 850 individual works on paper that my wife and I built a collection out of.
Ted Simmons is taking home some artwork and donating some too. We explain after the break. Last summer, Ted Simmons was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He also had his number retired and saw his statue dedicated here in St. Louis. This past May 24th, the Cardinals surprised Ted by presenting him with a replica of his statue. That same night, he also shared the exciting news that he and his wife are behind a new exhibit coming to the St. Louis Art Museum.
Well, it's really important to me and my wife, and the thing that's so important about it is people will ask me from time to time, what is it you're trying to say with your collection? What are you trying to say? And I say, I'm really not trying to say anything, because the artists really do all the talking. So if you see the artist and his work or her work, and it does something to you, for you, you investigate, you find out who they are and what they're trying to say, and in finding that out, you come to the conclusion that, well, Simmons and his wife must think a little bit like that. And that's what I mean when I say I let the artist do the talking for it. What's given is about 850 individual works on paper that my wife and I, over the last 25 years, have taken on and built a collection out of. And about 2 years ago, we, in a purchase gift with the SLAM, St. Louis Art Museum, we're lucky enough to do and make this happen. It's not something you think about, well, down the road, something really special like this is going to happen to me. You don't look at it that way. When they did the big one and put that out, out in front of the stadium with the other group, that was, bigger than life, beyond any expectation. It throws you right back to when you were a little boy. You dream, you hope, and you think, well, someday, wouldn't it be great to, be a Hall of Famer? Or wouldn't it be dynamite to have your number retired? Or even a statue out in front of your home ballpark? And as a kid, we all say that. And I did as a kid. But you never, ever, ever expect any of those things to happen to you. And then finally, they do. And you just kind of pinch yourself every 5 minutes to make sure you're not asleep dreaming it. And you finally stop pinching yourself and you say, yeah, this has happened, and I'm lucky boy.
Congratulations, Ted, on all that exciting news. Just like Ted, Tony La Russa is a Cooperstown and Cardinals Hall of Famer. He entered the season as the third winningest manager in Major League Baseball history, and he's the subject of today's Cardinals Legends Profile.
It's time for a Cardinals Legends Profile. Tony La Russa may have not played for the Cardinals, but he led the Redbirds to more wins than any other manager in club history. Before he began his managerial career, La Russa played parts of 6 seasons in the big leagues. After his baseball career came to an end, he earned his law degree at Florida State University. But during his final year of law school, La Russa decided he would rather coach in the minors than practice law. After managing the White Sox and Oakland Athletics, La Russa joined the St. Louis Cardinals in 1996.
For a dyed-in-the-wool baseball fan, this is as good as it gets.
The DeWitt family had just become majority owners, and they brought in La Russa, hoping to launch the Cardinals into the postseason for the first time in nearly a decade. Tony did just that, leading the organization to the NLCS in his first season.
Swing! Long one! Left field! This ball is gone! Into the bullpen!
Beloved by his team, players describe him as a father figure who took a chance on his players no matter where they were in their professional career.
But I think about coming to the ballpark and sitting down with Tony, and he just honestly said, we got something here. He said, I know the first half of the season didn't go, but we got something here, and we want you to be a part of it. And that meant a lot to me. For a team that's making a run, tells me that they want me, that's a very gratifying feeling, and I'll never forget that. And, I'll always be grateful to the Cardinals and for Tony La Russa for that.
He led the Cardinals to 2 World Series titles in 2006 and 2011. After his retirement, La Russa was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. His fire and passion for the game continues to grow to this day, and that's why he is a Cardinals legend. For more Cardinals history, visit the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum inside Ballpark Village. Plan your visit at cardinals.com/museum.
Coming up, who's joining Ted, Tony, and I in the Cardinal Hall of Fame? Meet the class of 2022 in just a moment. The Cardinals Hall of Fame is set to welcome 3 men this August. The class was revealed during a pregame ceremony on Friday, May 27th. Here's who's getting a plaque this August.
The St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame was established as a way to recognize the exceptional careers and significant achievements of the greatest players in Cardinals history. To be eligible, players must have played for the Cardinals for at least 3 seasons and must be retired as a player from Major League Baseball for at least 3 years. The eligible pool of players is divided into 2 categories: modern players and veteran players. If a player retired more than 40 years prior to the induction year, he is classified as a veteran player. Each member of the Cardinals Hall of Fame is permanently enshrined in the Cardinals Hall of Fame gallery presented by Edward Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Cardinals President Bill DeWitt III. Mr. DeWitt.
Thanks, John. All right, Whitey, let's do the honors. Congratulations to Matt Holliday, Julian Javier, and Charles Comiskey.
The 2022 Cardinals Hall of Fame class will be inducted into the St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame, presented by Edward Jones, on Saturday, August 27th at Ballpark Village.
Busch Stadium is an iconic building. You may think you've been everywhere, but some spots are rarely seen by the public. That includes the front office's administrative lobby. Our own Brett McMillan takes us on a tour.
You're used to the stands here at Busch Stadium, but did you know that this also serves as an office building for the club's employees? Guests are received here in the administrative lobby off Clark Avenue. Let's head up to the 2nd level and take a look at the rest of the space.
When exiting the elevator, you're greeted with photos of the final outs from the 2006 and 11 World Series and the 2013 NLCS, arguably the best seasons of the DeWitt era, which began in 1996. From here, you enter the main lobby. It's decorated with images from across Cardinals history. There's a Chris Carpenter candid from his magical 2011 run, in which he outdueled Roy Halladay in Game 5 of the NLDS and posted 2 wins and a sub-3 ERA in the World Series, including a Game 7 victory on short rest. Next to it is an image of Yadi Molina after hitting the 2-run game-winning blast off Aaron Heilman in Game 7 of the 2006 NLCS. The Cardinals' old ballparks are represented too, including this shot of Robeson Field, which sat at Natural Bridge in Vandeventer. It hosted the Cardinals up until 1920 when they moved to Sportsman's Park. There's history on the walls, but modern-day St. Louis is in full display out the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Clark Avenue.
The administrative lobby typically isn't part of a Busch Stadium tour, but plenty of other great spaces are. Come on down and check them out yourself. Get started at cardinals.com/tours. For Cardinals Insider, I'm Brett McMillan.
When we return, I'm answering one of your questions. It's Ask Ozzy, and it's up next. It's time for this week's Ask Ozzy. Claire in Tremont asked, is it weird knowing thousands of people got a Funko Pop of you? Well, Claire, it's not really weird. It's really like, I guess, a new version of a bobblehead. Think that looks like me? Well, the bobblehead didn't really look like me either. But it's great knowing that people, that you have something that will last a lifetime, and you have so many collectors. And the one thing that has happened since the Funko Pop came out, I've signed a lot of them. I like all of the bobbleheads. The bobbleheads, especially the one in the car, you know, it gives me a place to sign too on the hood. So that was a nice feature, and that's probably my favorite. Thanks for the question, Claire. If you want to submit a question, head on over to cardinals.com/insider and click the Ask Ozzy tab. But for now, stay with us. There's more Cardinals Insider after the break. 2022 has been filled with call-ups and big league debuts, and while this team has some notable veterans, the young guys are making a big impact too. We close the show with the Redbird Reels dedicated to the baby birds.
And Gorman hits one a ton into deep right. His first in the big leagues and a long one out to right. It just sounded beautiful. Fly ball, shallow right. Diving catch! Brendan Donovan. Right center, Juan Yepes. His first home run in the big leagues. Breaking ball, then he struck him out. Matthew Liberatore's first strikeout in the big leagues.
That's hit deep to right field, and it is a gunner! First major league home run for Brendan Donovan.
Nolan Gorman has brought in both runs today. Oh, and the catch is made by Donovan on the run. Yepes drives it out to deep left. It's at the wall, gone! Base hit. To throw by Newcar, a strike to the plate! Oh, he got him! It's an outfield assist with the game on the line! Out to deep left, and it is gone! Ripped inside the first baseline. Did he get another? Gone! Nolan Gorman, have a day!
That's all for this week. You can always catch past stories and full episodes at cardinals.com/insider or on YouTube. And for everyone involved with the show, I'm Ozzie Smith, and we'll see you right back here next week.